nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So the first question that I ask anyone that I interview is, how is everything going?
Well, everything is okay. We're just relaxing during the summer break,
Just kind of having a little bit of downtime.
Yeah, of course. It's very hot here in the south of Italy this part of the year, so there's
Hmm.
not so much to. Everyone is on holiday. Basically, I'm just finishing my guitar courses, and then
Well,
I
that's
will.
awesome. What kind of guitar courses are you doing?
Excuse me.
What kind of guitar courses are you doing?
Oh well, basically that's my main job. I teach to a lot of different kind of students, from children to adults, every age, every kind of level.
Oh, okay, that's nice. It's really
Yeah,
nice to see.
I have my guitar school here.
Okay, well, that's cool. That's something nice to know about you, something unique. So I know we got a few months until the album releases. How are you feeling about that?
Well, very excited, to be honest. We hope that it will be well received. Um, we are very happy about the record deals that we signed with the Vichy Solum Records from Sweden and Marquis Avalon from Japan. So we have this double record deal, and everything is working fine up until now, also from the promotional point of view. And we are sure that they will also do a lot more once that the album will be released, and we'll try to do our part as a band to promote the album as much as possible, trying to play live, to contact, to get in touch with booking agencies and festivals. We
Mhm.
really look forward to playing live too.
Okay, awesome. So how does it feel having two record labels? That's kind of a big deal.
Well, basically, Marquis Avalon is taking care only for Japan, for the Japanese market. So
Hmm.
I think that it is something quite common for the bands of our genre, because um, melodic metal, neoclassical metal still has a fan base in Japan, and
Hmm.
Japanese labels are interested in bands that play this kind of music. And Henrik, of course, our singer, um, I don't know if you know already, but he was the singer in Royal Hunt back in the 90s.
Hmm.
And the Royal Hunt had quite a good success there in Japan. So he already has a fan base there. I think that it helped us some way to get in touch with Marquis Avalon, and that's why they checked out our album and then decided to sign us.
Well, that's awesome. So Japan has a good taste in music. That's good to know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Yeah,
know,
because stuff like Ingve, Stratovarius, and that kind of stuff is quite popular there, and it helps in our case because somehow we are in the same genre of music.
mhm. Well, that's awesome. So I know I read that the release song, the riff was written about like 20 years ago for the new single. What inspired that to come out now?
Well, it's a funny story because that's a riff that I came up, as you said, about 20 years ago. But somehow I never found a way to turn it in an entire song. It's just remained in my memory, and
Mhm.
when I started writing the songs for the Timeless Fairytale album, I don't know why, but one day that riff came to mind. I tried it out on my guitar, and something inside me told me, okay, it is time to make it in a real song, you know, to write all the rest of the songs, write down the lyrics. And of course, I already had in mind Henrik's voice. So I tried to come up with a melody that could fit his range and his typical timbre, you know, vocal timbre. And I think it worked out really well in the end.
Well, that's awesome. Did you like save it somewhere, or was it just floating around in your memory? Because 20 years is a long time.
No, yeah, just floating around in my memory. I never recorded it. I never wrote it down on paper or something like that. I simply remembered that riff.
Wow. So that must mean you have a really good memory then.
Yeah. Not for everything, but in this case, yes, I had.
It's like it was meant to be. It was just kind of waiting till the right moment to come out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Are you happy that you waited all this time, even though it was kind of just floating around for the past 20 years?
Yeah. I think it became a real song in the right moment, you know. Of course, in 20 years, I've recorded about 8 albums.
Yeah.
So I had something else to play, something else to record. Fortunately.
Well, that's always good.
Anyway.
So, what was the hardest part about writing this album?
Well, it's a very good question. I think that the hard part was to write an album with a lot of variety in it. We have different moods, different kinds of rhythms, different kinds of grooves, drum grooves, you know. But somehow there is a general atmosphere in all the songs. It's the same atmosphere, so you can hear that it is the same album, even if there is a lot of different elements in the arrangements and in the music. As far as I see it, you know, that's how I see it. Because, for instance, you have the fast power metal tracks, such as New Dawn and Emptiness and stuff like that. And then you have the shuffle song, Master of Illusion. Then you have the ballad, the title track, A Story to Tell. So, you know, there is all these different kinds of aspects of our sound.
Okay, so it's just kind of like a mix of everything. So there's something in there for everyone.
Yeah, of course we have a unique style, but I don't like the albums where every song has the same tempo, the same drum groove. You know, it feels kind of boring after a while, according to my personal tastes. You know, personal choices.
Yeah, for sure. And I also noticed that in the album, there's like a entering the fairy tale and then a farewell to the fairy tale. What is that kind of about?
Well, entering the fairy tale is the instrumental intro. I just wrote it to introduce the listeners to our band, to our sound. You know, it's just like you know, it's a figurative thing. The listeners enters with his mind, with his or her imagination, entering our musical world, and then when the album is finished, it's time to say goodbye. So that's why farewell fairy tale.
Okay. So is it like a sad song at the end because the album's over and that's it?
Yeah, of course. Just like if in a theater, you know, you go there, you watch the play, and then it's over and say goodbye.
Get out, leave, we're done. But you can start the album over again, so then you just start all over.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So with this album, what's kind of the creative process to how it all got started? Like as a band, do you guys all pitch in ideas or does it all start with a riff? What does the creative process look like for the band itself in this album?
Well, basically, it's me writing old songs, and I sent the demos to the other guys. We don't live in the same country. I'm from Italy. Me and the bass player are from Italy. Henrik is from Denmark. Our singer is from Denmark. And our drummer, Viktor Enebjörn, is from Sweden.
Wow.
So we didn't meet during the writing process. So I had to send the demos, and everyone gave his opinion, his input, you know. Then Henrik came to Italy last summer to record his vocal parts. So we worked together in the studio with Henrik. But as long as the creative process goes, it's basically me playing around in my studio, gathering ideas, recording stuff. Yeah.
So how is it having band members in other countries? Do you think it works, or do you kind of wish you guys were all together?
Well, you know, I think it has some disadvantages and advantages, because of course you cannot meet frequently. But if you are on the same page from the musical point of view, it can work. You know, I can take an airplane, I can jump on a plane and be in Denmark in 3 hours, so it's not a big problem to me.
Right.
So it all comes down to how much you are motivated to be in a band, to how much you are motivated to create something together. I think that nowadays, with the technology that we have, you can easily exchange musical ideas. So it can be done that way. Of course, in case we'll have to tour, we'll have to schedule the rehearsals. I'll have to fly to Denmark or Sweden and be there for a week or so, and rehearse with the other guys.
Sounds like a good vacation to me. You get to see a little bit of the world. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So with the album name, A Story to Tell, is there a story that you are telling in this album? Is there like a theme?
Well, it's not a concept album in the real sense of the word. But as I told you before, there is a general common atmosphere. To be honest, I think that it's a little bit sad, a little bit melancholic, but in a good sense, from my point of view. It's I felt that we had really a story to tell, something to talk about in the songs. I think that the songs communicate something. It's not, lyrics about a car or a party or something like that. Nothing wrong with that stuff. Of course, music can be good also with that kind of lyrics. Let's take Away Star by Deep Purple. It's a great song, but when it comes down to lyrics, what is it about? A car, something like that. I don't think there is in that case a deep meaning behind the lyrics, But it works. It is still a great song. But in our musical realm, lyrics are a little bit more deep, are deeper, and you have to find a theme to talk about, something to tell, a story to tell,
That is true. So what's behind the name of the band?
Well, I came up with this name because I think that the genre that we like, this kind of melodic, neoclassical, power metal, whatever you want to call it, it's basically timeless because it's been around for about 40 years now, and it is still played by a lot of bands. Or you hear a modern version of it. That's what we are trying to do, a modern version of this kind of a style. But basically, the core elements of the sound are still there. The classical influence, the shredding solos, the soaring vocals, that kind of stuff. The very catchy vocal lines. It's a very, very melodic style of music.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I know the band title name is like really catchy, so I know like I was really excited to check it out. So I'm sure a lot of people will also see that too.
Yeah, I hope so. and fairy tale because music, our passion for music is our personal fairy tale.
Yeah. And then what about the album cover? It's very unique.
Okay, it is very nice, but unfortunately, I cannot tell you much about it because I told the guy to design it. So I didn't give him an idea of what I had in mind. He just had a title, the the band's name, Timeless Fairytale, and the title of the album, A Story to Tell. And he came up with this beautiful, beautiful cover. Well, I think that basically it's some kind of it's half a clown, half a monster. I don't know what it is that is playing and telling his story, in his songs.
Mm-hmm. Do you like the way it came out, or is there anything that you would have changed
Yes,
about it?
yeah, I like it very much. I like it very much. But I had no idea, I had nothing in mind. I didn't give him any input or a direction to follow, nothing.
Okay, so it's kind of like a surprise. Like, here's the
Yeah.
information. Let's see what you got. So I know we
Exactly.
talked about the album being a few months away. What's the band doing in the meantime? Just kind of hanging out or
Well, as I told you before, since we don't live in the same country, we don't meet regularly on a regular basis. But
mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to be available for interviews to promote the album properly. I always talk to the other guys where we keep in touch almost on a daily basis on social medias or via email. Everyone is very updated about what's going on. But in this moment, we just have to wait for the album's release, and then we'll see when we will be able to play live. We'll try to, as I told before, to get in touch with promoters and festivals organizers and see what they can do for us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that sounds exciting. It sounds like there's a lot of good things in store for the band.
I hope so.
So I have to ask, what song are you most excited for people to hear on the album?
You mean the most exciting song, in my opinion?
Yeah, like the song you're most excited for people to hear.
Okay. Well, I think that the song Emptiness is a very strong song because it has all the traits of our sound, the power metal grooves, the neoclassical influences, and the incredible vocal skills of our singer Henrik.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, I also like very much the title track, A Story to Tell. It's a ballad, as I told you before, but it's
Mm-hmm.
very deep. It's a long ballad, about 7 minutes and a half. So there is a lot of stuff going on in it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's an interesting song.
Is that also the
But
longest song?
I'm not the one that has to tell it. I cannot judge my own music. It's not a good thing. So I hope that people will like. But what I can guarantee is that we put a lot of work in this album, a lot of attention to the details.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is there without a conscious work. Everything has its place. All the arrangements are structured in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that the target audience will like it.
Yeah, I think they will for sure. I mean, from what I've heard so far, it sounds really good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, a story to tell. I know you mentioned it was like 7 minutes and some seconds. Is that also the longest song on the album?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Is that also
You
your
know,
favorite?
yes, from a certain point of view, it's also my favorite song on the album because
Okay.
it's so deep,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it has this element of surprise because it's basically a ballad, but in the middle you have the fast part, and then the Hammond solo and the guitar solo and all that stuff. Somehow it has some progressive traits, some progressive influences.
Okay. Well, excited to hear it. I'm sure everyone else will be too. It sounds like a really awesome song.
Okay.
So, what have been some surprising lessons you've learned since forming this band?
I didn't get it, sorry.
What have been some surprising lessons that you learned like when forming this band?
Okay. Well, first of all, I've learned that backing vocals have to be recorded after the lead vocals because I called the backing vocalists. Um, they came here at my place to record the backing vocals before Henrik came to Italy to record his parts. And
Mm-hmm.
what I noticed is that it is better to have lead vocals first because you can adjust the timing and the length of the backing vocals according to the
Mm-hmm.
lead singer preferences,
Right.
and the personal choice. So it had to be done this way because I had the backing vocalist available before Eric, so somehow I had to work that way. But I didn't think that it would have been a problem later. But now I
Mm-hmm.
know. Now I know that it's bad. Anyway, somehow we fixed everything. Everything sounds great on the album, but people cannot imagine the hard work that is behind this kind of work process.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it takes a lot because you have to record everything and put it together and fix anything you don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to work. What impact do you hope this album has on people who listen to it?
I just hope that they will feel something. Music is about communicating. Somehow, it's also about feelings. I hope that maybe someone will feel better listening to our music or some of our songs or our lyrics will strike a chord inside.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what music is anyway. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a way to
yeah,
feel better or, just a
of course.
huge part of life.
Or just spend 4 minutes in a pleasant way, listening to something that you like.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely music is life.
Yeah, of course.
So one last question here. Is there anything that you would like to, it's kind of like your time to say anything that you'd like to people who would be interested in listening to the album or anyone who's interested in seeing you later go on tour?
Well, I would suggest to listen to the whole album because you can get the full message, listening to the whole to all the songs, because as I told you before, there is this common atmosphere, and I think that it is a nice journey to listen from the first track to the last, and exactly in the same order. You know, in this digital era, you can easily skip songs. You can go on Spotify and select the songs that you want to listen, but I think that at least once our album has to be listened to from the first track to the very last one. That's my personal suggestion. And I hope to tour as soon as possible. I hope that we'll get a chance to hit the road and meet people and share the music. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think sharing the music is the best part.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I want to thank you for taking your time for doing this interview. And for anyone who's interested in the album, I'll have a link in the description if you want to pre-order it. And it does come out on September the 13th, and the album is called A Story to Tell, and you should definitely check it out.
Thank you very much for this interview. It was a big pleasure for me.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
thanks
Thank
for
you
the
again.
support.
No problem. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.